All right, hello AP scholars. We are now going to take a look at roundSum from logic-2 codingBat. And in this question, basically what we want to do is round numbers to the nearest tenth. Not one, not unit, but nearest tenth, and then sum them up. So again, we're going to get three integers, and we're going to add up each of them, except we'll choose whatever the closest tenth is for this. So for example, for 16, 17, 18, we are going to round those each to 20 because the closest multiple of 10 of 16, 17, 18 is 20, right? If it's 15 and up, we're going to round it to 20. If it's 14 to 10, it's going to round down to 10. So that's the story there, and look at that, it added up to 60. How about 12, 13, 14? Well, those round down to 10, so our sum will result as 30, and 6, 4, 4, I guess rounds to 10 because 6 is 10, and 4 is 0. So that's why that adds up to 10. So that's basically the story, and again, they want you to write a separate helper method that you're going to call so that you don't have to repeat this code 3 times for each integer, each of your parameters. So that's going to be great. We'll make a little round 10 method. It even gives us the signature so that we can apply that. So it'll be kind of like the last question. Okay, so you can pause the video here if you want to go try it yourself now that you have heard that explanation. And if you are happy to see the answer, then to continue watching. So here's my code. So we'll just start off with the answer. And this seems like procrastination, right? I love it. This is so good. We're just going to round A and B and C and just add them up. And it's like, yeah, I worked hard. But you know why this is great? I mean, even though this wouldn't work and do anything, you have made the problem simpler, right? Now your problem is, how do I round a number that is to the nearest tenth, right? That's my new problem. But I'm summing up the rounding, and that solves the adding problem. So here's how I did my round 10. And there's multiple ways to do this, by the way, so feel free if you've done another way. I've chosen to use a way that involves mostly if statements, because that's what our unit is that we're working on. But if you have another way of doing it, then fabulous. I'm glad. So here it is. Basically, round 10 takes this number as my parameter, and I'm sending it A, B, and C. And so what I do is I first do this line of code here. What does this do? This gets the units digit. So if it was 49, for example, then A would have the value 9. It gets the ones digit, right? So if num equals that, then A is going to equal 9. So whatever the situation is that we are dealing with, it's the ones digit. If it's just a single digit, like if it's just they send you the number 9, then A will get 9 as well, because that's what modulus 10 does. Modulus 10, remember, it gets the remainder after dividing by 10. So if we had the number 34, well, how many times does 10 go into 34? Well, it goes in 3 times, remainder 4. And that's both the remainder, but it's also the rightmost digit. So modulus by 10 gives us the rightmost digit, the units digit, the ones digit. So then I do a little bit of analysis on that digit. If I say if it's less than 5, then I set that value to 0. And otherwise, it must be greater than 5, so I set that value to 10. So this is where I'm actually doing the rounding. And then when I go to return the answer, what I'll do is basically add that back onto the number divided by 10 times by 10. So what's going on with times 10 divided by 10? You might think, well, don't those just cancel out, right? But num is an int, so that means, and I guess so is 10. So what we're going to be doing is doing integer division. So for example, 49 divided by 10, that's going to give us 40, right? Because it goes in 4 times, and we're doing integer division. The division only gets you the quotient and not the remainder. Those are 2 separate quantities when you're dividing with ints in Java. So actually, I shouldn't say it gives you 40, it gives you 4. And that's why when we times it by 10, we end up getting 40. And then I can just add A back on, which will either be 0 or 10. In this case, if it was, say, 49, if that was our number, then A would have been promoted to 10. So we add on the 10, we get it rounded up to 50. So that's the story there. So just to complete that thought, if num was 49, then a would have been 9 when we do the modulus, and 9 is not less than 5, so it would have been promoted to 10. So then when we do this math, we'd add 10 onto it. The plus a would be plus 10, which gives us 50 as our thing. So that's how it rounds up or down. So hopefully that makes sense, and I hope that answer is clear. And if you had a different way of rounding, then more power to you. I'm glad to see it. Okay, there it is. Thanks, folks. I hope you had fun with roundSum, and we will show you the answer to the next one in the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye.